Ah, Protea Prime, how you love to corrupt files when recording things. She is here, she is buffed, it's about time. The, let's call it, hard to get resources here would of course be for the chassis, if it would stop sticking the box over the top of it. It does need 2 argon crystals. They will expire, but while farming it, just as soon as you get the part, build it, and the argon crystals, you might have some just from farming the relics more than anything else. The systems does need 2 niatan extract. They will all take 12 hours to build, and then 3 days, unless of course you rush it at 50 platinum apiece, 8 neural sensors for her neuroptics. That's expensive, but worth it, with her parts dropping from the Lith P9 relic for the systems as a rare drop. Oh yes, that's going to be less common than you would think. The blueprint, base blueprint for putting all the parts together, dropping from the Meso W4, the Neo P6, having the neuroptics, and the, goddamn you axes, P7, having her chassis. Yeah, she has 2 rare parts. Ah, Protea, I used you so much. You were such a good frame, but it's time to put you to bed. For your prime is here, with the increase in armor and energy going from 135 to 185. Lovely. I'm glad they're going back to the 50 increases instead of the 25. Oh wait, the energy's only gone up 25. Energy only ever goes up about 25. Armor going up by 50. She will survive so much more now. Plus, we'll have extra polarities over the normal Protea, but it doesn't matter when you've already put 4 into normal Protea anyway. She comes with a V and 2 dashes, which is great, but probably most important here, because it is one of the formers I keep wasting on every frame of late. That symbol in the aura polarity means you can put in anything you want and always have it correct. She has a universal aura polarity. I absolutely love them for that one. Quickly going over her abilities, obviously her first, the choice of either the shrapnel grenade or the shield satellites depends on your tap versus hold. Tap will shrapnel grenade it. Holding it will shield grenade it. The shield grenade kind of sticks to you and gives you an overshield. The other one deals damage. Very, very useful. Then there is her party piece, her second ability, Blaze Artillery. Do I need to go any more into the fact that a giant cannon comes off her waist and hovers above her head and shoots anything and everything that moves? I wish they had made this an exalted weapon so we could mod it. Oh, that would have been completely nuts, being able to mod this thing and get it more powerful. Tends to have a base range of 30, obviously can go up, doesn't deal an amazing amount of damage, but does at the same time. Then there is her third ability, Dispensary, that's ammo, health, and energy. I was going to say power, but I'll spat from this thing every now and then, and yeah, if you are doing defense, she is an amazing damage dealing support frame for these reasons. Dispensary at the point, throw your turret out, then run away and kill things. If you add duration to her, it's even better by quite a lot. Her ultimate ability, her temporal anchor, where you cast the ability is where you will temporal anchor her to. You can run forward, taking out enemies, activate it, and she will go back to that point. Dying while anchored will automatically rewind her back to there as well, saving her from death. Meaning, as long as you have this ability anchored as you're running around, you basically can't die. Unless, of course, you go back to where you were anchored and die instantly there because there's a bunch of enemies there. When you rewind back to that point, you also trigger a temporal implosion, which The implosion increases damage. Sorry. The implosion damage increases based on the damage you have dealt to enemies as you go, basically. This ability is one of those that is much underused. Shield Satellite, because you can shield allies with it. Then you throw your turret up, drop the dispensary, anchor yourself, run off and start killing enemies, and when you either auto get sucked back, you'll go back and there'll be ammo and health and energy sitting there waiting for you anyway. And when your turret has expired, you can activate Temporal Anchor and be sucked back to reactivate your turret. You can have more than one, by the way. I believe it was 2 or 3 was the max. I've seen people use 3. For some reason, I can only ever get 2 to come out. But her Blaze Artillery, it's another one of those abilities that is kind of weird and makes her very useful. The number that is on the turret for enemies hit. Every enemy that is hit increases the power of the next plasma attack that comes from it. So the more enemies this thing can hit, the more powerful it becomes. Hence, running away and killing things that are within range of it is kind of pointless anyway. You can just kind of stand there and let them come to you, and the more enemies that this thing can hit, the longer the duration you have on it, because duration is important for Protea. Despite a lot of popular belief, build her for duration and power strength. Range is useful, but not as important as duration and power strength, because duration means her turret lasts longer. Duration means the dispensary stays there for longer. The shield satellite lasts for longer. Temporal Anchor also lasts longer. Everything on her is basically duration orientated and power strength. So I would go for them two. I would show a build, but if I'm being 1000% honest, I'm kind of favouring going back to this kind of setup, but this is normal Protea because she's actually finished. I'm busy trying to decide if I want to Umbra Former Protea Prime. I probably will I probably will. And yes, I will put a D polarity onto Protea for narrow-minded. Maybe, I haven't decided if I want to run that mod or not. Narrow-minded is kind of a must for duration, because as you've seen, it went from 306 down to 207. As a best example I can put of that, the dispensary, instead of being 25 base seconds, is 76.5 seconds it lasts for. The Blaze Artillery, instead of it lasting for 3 seconds, I believe it is, it lasts for 9. It's 3 times the length from its base, without not a single Archon shard on it. Put Archon shards on it, it's amazing. I would assume, seeing as I didn't use any of these and Protea was still annihilating, like, she just really did have a grudge against everybody. But the primed version may have to be given some Archon shards to make her even more powerful. We could honestly go on and on about the perks of Protea, but Protea has been around for a while now. The primed version, if you main Protea, it is a must. She is just better in every single way. The added armor means she's going to survive better. The extra energy means you can choose to have flow or not. Better, obviously, have flow means you can use more abilities, but with the dispensary, it's not necessary. Protea is just one of those frames that is kind of a must, because with the Blaze Artillery, I cannot stress it enough. She can give shields, deal damage. The dispensary is so useful. I have it on the Frost I use a lot of the time. It's on one of his builds, as his other abilities. I wouldn't take her abilities off, no. I would leave them as they are, because every single one of them just work really well together. Especially the fact that, you know, Temporal Anchor can kind of stop you from dying. If you're about to die, you can cast it and run away. The enemies will then follow you, and when you cast it again, you can go back to where you were, in the hope the dispensary that you placed first happened to have left some health orbs. And if you do die while running away, you'll go back to where you started from and you won't actually die, which is kind of very, very useful. Making her one of those frames that is great for basically doing everything. She's an all-in-one frame. She is an amazing frame. And primed, she is just so much better. So with that, we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.